Did you know that fire completely changes its identity when it leaves Earth? If you light a candle right now, you know exactly what will happen. You get a tall, yellow, flickering teardrop shape. It's comforting, it's familiar, and it's something we have seen since the caveman days. But what if I told you that this shape is actually a lie? The fire you know is just a gravity effect. When you take fire away from Earth and light a match in the zero gravity of space, it transforms into something that looks less like a campfire and more like a magic spell. It becomes a perfect, spooky blue sphere that hovers in midair. It doesn't flicker. It doesn't rise. It just sits there, glowing like a ghostly eye. And the scariest part? It can become invisible and keep burning without you even knowing it is there. Let's break it down for you. On Earth, fire is shaped by gravity. When you burn fuel, you create hot gas. Because hot air is lighter than cold air, gravity pulls the heavy, cold air down and pushes the hot air up. This creates a constant vertical wind called a convection current. This invisible wind is what stretches the flame into that pointy teardrop shape. It is also what makes the fire yellow. The rising air carries little particles of soot, basically unburnt carbon, that glow bright yellow when they get hot. But in space, there is no up. There is no light air or heavy air because there is no gravity to weigh them. So that convection current stops dead. Without that rising wind, the fire is stranded. Oxygen can't rush in to feed it. It has to slowly wander in from all directions through a process called diffusion. This turns the flame into a perfect sphere. Because the oxygen enters so slowly, the fire burns differently. It becomes incredibly efficient. It burns up all that soot that usually makes the fire yellow. The result is a dim, blue halo. It is cleaner, calmer, and much harder to see. But this is where it gets truly weird. In 2012, NASA ran an experiment called FLEX on the International Space Station to see how liquid fuel burns in space. They ignited a droplet of fuel, watched the blue sphere form, and then watched it fade away. They thought the fire was out, but when they looked at the data, they realized something terrifying. The fuel droplet was still shrinking. The fire hadn't gone out, it had become a cool flame. On Earth, a fire needs to be hot to stay alive. But in space, the chemistry changes. The fire entered a low-temperature zombie state where it was burning without creating visible light. It was an invisible fire. Imagine being an astronaut, thinking a fire is extinguished, but it is actually still eating up the oxygen in the room, completely unseen. This discovery is actually helping scientists design cleaner engines on Earth, but it serves as a wild reminder the laws of nature aren't as fixed as we think. We are just used to the Earth edition of physics. Subscribe if you think fire looks cooler in space.